Hurtful, Roger, Jason.
Glad.
Lost and won everything in a span of 3 years. He went from some random kid calling e-girls
I'm just kidding.
to collaborating with the biggest streamers on the platform. His exponential growth did not come without sacrifice though.
I'm glad you busy and doing well. I don't know what to say. I just want you to know I am not happy. Just remember when you were little, we spent a lot of time together and now you changed too much.
So let me tell you the entire story. Jason used to be like every other teenager. I want to become a YouTuber. I want to become a streamer. And so he tried it for himself too. In 2018, he streamed on Twitch exactly 2 times. He was around 14 at the time though, so he was probably like, nah, I got better things to do. Like jerking. It wouldn't be until 2021 where he would take his influencer career a bit more seriously. As we all know, quarantine hit the world like a truck in anime. Suddenly, everybody had way too much free time. Some people worked out, others watched Netflix all day, and Jason decided he would become TikTok famous, no matter what it takes. When Money Sniper was the name of his first account, and he would post these types of videos.
Hey, did y'all know that your phone screen actually smells really good, like fresh fruit? Take a sniff with me.
I could never do that, but it would turn out to be the stepping stone to his first taste of real success. Jason would continue doing these cringy TikToks for about a year.
Reasons why you should be with me instead of him. Reason number 1, if you with me, nothing has ever heard of you. Except one thing, if you know what I mean.
He would occasionally hop on Twitch and also try YouTube for a change. His content was mostly games like Valorant, a bit of Warzone, a bit of Roblox, and he also stepped into the world of e-dating.
Those lips are so nice.
Oh wait, I can go to the mall tomorrow. Cause we're not going till 5. I can go in
Which
the
is
morning.
pretty insane foreshadowing, but you'll get why in a second. It's just
Did you not go today?
No, I couldn't go.
her name was also Godly Booty too. Just wanted to point that out. Now let's quickly go back to his TikToks. They might seem like humiliation rituals, but they proved to be very effective. Using this cringe persona, he was able to get millions of views on his videos and built his first loyal fan base. He was known as that one cringe kid on TikTok, and that made him stand out. Everybody famous is kinda known for something, right? iShowSpeed blew up because he kept barking and raging. Queso blew up because he's built like a 1x1 Lego piece. And Jason does this.
Reasons why you should let me be your Valentine. Reason number 1, I'll rub your feet while we watch Euphoria, if you know what I'm saying.
TikTok was paying nothing though. He was able to buy Louis glasses, but that's pretty much it. So in August of 2022, he would finally commit to streaming. With an average of around 100 viewers, that most he would finally commit to streaming. With an average of around 100 viewers, that mostly came from his TikToks. He streamed pretty much every day, doing mostly Valorant and the mentioned e-dates now. But he did it differently this time. He took the goofy personality from TikTok and displayed it on stream. Now couple that with random e-girls that he hired off of ePal to play Valorant with him, and he just created the perfect formula for the most cringe yet funny content in his space. And that made him get his first semi-viral clips.
Your hobbies. Oh.
My hobbies?
Yeah.
My hobbies is being dominant.
Okay.
The little growth that he experienced was nice and all, but he was paying his e-kittens like $3 per Valorant game, so Jason had to find other ways to grow too. Luckily for him, he donated some of his hard-earned cash to Prod, a well-established Valorant streamer even back then. Jason took the risk and asked him in the donation if he wanted to play with him. Not in that way. Normally when a streamer sees somebody begging for a shoutout, they just straight up ignore it, but Prod already knew who Jason was, due to his few viral clips. And so he agreed, and they quickly became friends. This helped him a ton. He went from peaking at 200 max viewers in August to 3,000 max viewers in September. That's like a lot of growth in a month. With that momentum, Jason went absolutely nuts with the streams. He started doing more variety content, since that was what the viewers actually wanted. He made songs. Whatever this is. And he met a ton of other famous streamers since this whole e-dating thing was going crazy at the time. He met people like Stable Ronaldo, Clayx, and Sneeko. He wasn't e-dating them, but like they did streams together. The viewers absolutely loved seeing him do outrageous things in front of girls. And he would even step it up a notch by doing IRL streams, where he would talk to girls while they put makeup on. And this was and content purposes only. He would go on a random e-date or makeup stream, do his cringe thing.
Pee in her mouth? Yo!
And he would go semi-viral, do his
College,
cringe
college
thing,
football.
Pee in her mouth? Yo!
and he would go semi-viral with it. Everybody's happy. But people who watch hours of this stuff want to see character development. You don't want to feel just cringe all the time. You want all kinds of different emotions, like in a K-drama. So let me introduce you to Mira. They first met through Shorting Ali, another streamer, and she would be the start of a cycle that would repeat itself over and over again, each time making
Facts.
Jason more and more famous, in exchange for something not too pleasant. Mira and Jason just started off as friends, and Jason would put on his typical cringe persona for the content. You know, the whole e-kitten Discord mod trope, just like with all the other previous e-girls.
You've been a bad girl.
But Mira was
Wait,
different.
wait.
He would spend more and more time with her outside this whole e-dating content farm.
Bye, Jason. Love you. I love you.
Me too. Wait, she said it first.
Because they actually connected quite well. She became a recurring character. He would even create entire songs and detailed paintings for her. Okay, those might not be the best examples, but the important thing is, part of it actually seemed genuine. Behind the content, there seemed to be actual feelings. And the viewers felt that too.
All roots end with Mira. And that's on period.
They grew attached to their dynamic and even created a whole hashtag for them. Hashtag Jira. It was a roller coaster of emotions. It seemed like Jason was genuinely in love, and they shared so many moments together.
This
I
arc is tough,
genuinely
chat.
have
This
feelings
arc
for
is up.
Mira Tony. Mira Tony is very special to my, and it's a very special place in my heart. And I would be lying if I said I did not catch feelings over a Discord call.
But it was all fabricated.
What me and Mira had was fake, bro. I met Mira at TwitchCon and did absolutely nothing, bro. I felt nothing towards her.
I
would be
lied
lying
saying
if I
all this,
said-
by the way.
Jason definitely liked Mira as a friend, but at the end of the day, the focus was on the content, going viral. And like it or not, it worked. He created
No,
endless
thanks.
viral clips with her and other e-girls,
Yeah, hold on.
What
but
the?
most importantly, he solidified a die-hard fan base. A fan base that wanted to see how he develops as a person and how this story ends. Instead of just seeing him play Valorant and be goofy all the time,
You good?
Are you okay?
you could feel what at least seemed like real, raw emotions. Sad, in love, and everything in between. And we're not talking about 100 fans anymore. We're talking about 1,000 people watching him at all times now. The Mirror arc eventually died down though, but the same cycle would only escalate from here on out. In the beginning of 2023, he continued his streak of doing e-dating content, slowly moving away from Valorant. There are only so many e-girls you can hire, you know? Around this time, the whole
Not gonna lie, chat. Shit was crazy. I was here for low-key some of it. Mainly like the newer stuff, like the Selena arc, when you met all the girls off Hinge and like you went to OC and shit. That shit carried a lot of my like free time and boredom. Carried. No
The
cap,
risk
man.
thing
No
was at
cap.
its all-time high though, and
Shit was
Jason being in
mad
this exact
entertaining.
space was able to use this to its full potential. Now he didn't rizz up people like my hero Duke Dennis, but he did it his way,
What in the glaze?
to its full
say
potential. Now he
like my
didn't rizz
hero
up people
Duke
like my
Dennis?
hero Duke Dennis, but he
The
did it
glaze is
his
crazy.
way.
Oh hell no.
This was around the time I actually found him, because his clips were everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You'd find him
come on,
staring at the camera while the girl he's talking to feels visibly uncomfortable. I wasn't the only one finding his TikToks though. A person who would later become one of the most important characters in his stream saw his TikToks too, Eugen. After being a fan of
Sheesh.
Jason and watching his
Oh.
streams, she
Oh,
decided to
damn,
reach
oh,
out,
shit,
and so she
damn.
appeared on a stream for the first time. And yes, history repeats itself. So, after a bit more investigative research, I found out that they probably met through a mutual before the whole thing actually started, but for the sake of the story, we'll keep it pushing. Hashtag Jujin or some shit became a thing now. The new love story of will they or will they not. Alongside the Riz Dare content machine that was running, both the new and the old viewers were hooked on the Jason and Eugen story, and it felt even more genuine this time. They would talk for hours on end. He would do IRL streams with her, make songs entirely dedicated to Eugen.
This one was actually good, chat.
And yes, they actually eventually became a couple.
We deeply in love, chat.
You can imagine that the community went crazy. They were more attached to this random guy on the internet than to their own lives. I was emotionally invested in this guy, but that makes the downfall even more painful. The first few months of 2023 were the biggest months for Jason yet. And not gonna lie, he was on top of the world. He had a girlfriend and he grew from 1,000 to 3,000 people watching him at all times. Eugen and Jason did a ton of streams together and all that. But once it was final that they were in a relationship, the excitement was kinda gone. A lot of people complained that the streams got more stale, which sounds horrible because the man was happy, but it's like watching a show. If everything goes right or stale, which relationship, the excitement was kinda gone. A lot of people complained
His channel honestly will grow once he gets rid of Eugen. The content I stay after Eugen came back.
that the streams got more sounds horrible because the man was
Nah,
happy,
that's-
watching a
that's
show. If everything goes right, there's nothing exciting about it. In order to maintain success, you need to stay relevant. And his main content was going on e-dates basically, so he obviously couldn't stop that. He talked to Mira sometimes, a bunch of other girls, and he did his usual goofy wrist stuff.
Can I get an aura?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well,
But he obviously couldn't pretend like
Absolutely not.
okay. Well.
But he obviously couldn't pretend like he was actually interested in any of the girls. It was good content, but it did bother Eugen. I mean, it's understandable. You're in a relationship and your partner just goes on e-dates almost every day. There were a lot of trials and tribulations going on in general, but it was clear that the current direction they were heading in wasn't the right one.
She did set boundaries, and I broke the boundaries. Eugen is really good to me, and like, obviously it's hard for a girl to see, you know, me talk to other girls on stream.
And so he had to make a decision, Eugen or his career. And it seemed like he chose the latter. I'm making it a bit more dramatic than it actually is. But them being long distance, him doing e-dates, and a bunch of other factors led to them breaking up. Jason is still young, and if he wanted to last in this business, he would have to make sacrifices. That's just how life works. Now my mans was obviously still hurting, but he had to keep it pushing, and so he did. They broke up around the end of February of 2024.
Yo.
This some crazy ass shit.
And you can see that during the time they were in a relationship, he didn't really grow all that much. Didn't lose a lot of viewers, didn't gain a lot of viewers. Now it does sound horrible to say it out loud, but the months following his breakup were his biggest months ever, at least career-wise. And it's because he went more crazy with the girls months ever, at least career-wise. And it's because he went more crazy with the girls content ever before. He low-key crashed out. He went to parties and started doing streams with girls left and right. He built an entire roster of girls that he talked to basically daily. And it felt like the whole Mira and Eugen story, but like 1,000 times more extreme. Because there were like 15 girls at one point. He would travel to different states and meet up the girls there to do these insane dates. And yes, he would still do his wrist thingy. Let's take Sa for example. They would talk on Discord, meet up, and he would show up on her birthday.
You don't know how to play with slime. Were you not a slime kid?
I'm not a slime kid. I was an iPad kid.
Next thing you know, he's with an entirely different girl doing the exact same thing. And he would just sometimes rotate. Every stream felt like an entire movie. It had a background story, it had lore behind it. And trust me, it got really deep. People call it the Weenie-verse because of how many girls and characters played a role in these streams. Like, look at this. How complicated can a stream be?
Alright, there's some beef between Selena and Melissa. Followed YBG for a year? Was this all planned in prologue? Went to Jessica's party surrounded by 6-foot fashion demon ABBs. Wow, bro. It's crazy how I met them both on Hinge, and they are somehow connected. And then boom, Jessica, for those that don't know, threw a birthday party recently which started some beef.
And the people loved it. Sure, he was definitely still recovering from his first relationship.
You're a weirdo, bro.
Yeah, he would.
Bro, why y'all
Bro, the edits of him and Union Republic on the shit, bro, and he would sit there and watch it, bro. Sometimes the Republic watch it and be like, damn, why am I getting sad at this? Like, bro, this shit is easy.
Like, quotes like that, bro. Like, it's one thing
I'm not crying, bro,
But if we're only talking about growth here, in 2 months, he went from an average of 3,000 people watching him to 8,000 viewers analyzing his every move. Prime Jason was back. Now his growth did not stop at all, and that is because he joined a group that is gonna change his life in the following years. FaZe. I mentioned that Jason had connected with Stable Ronaldo early on, and he would be the one introducing Jason to the whole FaZe group. And at the end of April, he would officially join. By doing that, he had the ability to collaborate with so many other creators, such as Plagueboy Max, Lacey, and a bunch of other guys. Networking with these guys and being for the streets got him to an average of 10,000 people watching him. He literally made $100,000 in June, but his life is by far not perfect. We can all agree that he's a pretty busy guy with the girls thing, traveling, and FaZe, but his family is still not used to that. He's still in college, for example, doing information systems.
If right now you dropped out, what would be your parents' response?
like without telling him.
Without telling them? Oh, hell no. My parents would cry, I feel like.
In general, his family also feels like he's too busy these days.
Told my aunt, like, I was gonna be in LA for a minute, and she was like, because I grew up close to my aunt. She took me to church and shit. She texted me, oh my God, this crushed my soul. Look, I'm glad you busy and doing well. I don't know what to say. I just want you to know I am not happy. Just remember when you were little, we spent a lot of time together, and now you changed too much. No family time, money so important, make you forget all the good things. I was like, damn.
No, that's not right.
But just like the story with Eugen, if you're having this kind of success at such a young age, you need to ride that wave, man. Even if that means that you gotta neglect some other things. Jason is at his peak right now, and I wholeheartedly believe that he will keep blowing up the following months and hopefully the following years. Subscribe so I can get some more.